I know why you clicked on this video. You're probably wondering, how can a simple watch cost more than a brand new car? And even more confusing, why are people willing to pay even more for a used Rolex than for a brand new one? It doesn't make sense. Almost everything we buy loses value. The moment you drive a new car out of the dealership, it starts depreciating. Your smartphone, within a few years, it's worth only a fraction of what you paid. Even expensive luxury products usually become cheaper over time, but somehow Rolex has been breaking that rule for decades. So what's the secret? Is it the gold, the diamonds, the craftsmanship, or is something much bigger happening behind the scenes? Because the truth is, Rolex isn't just selling watches, it's selling something far more valuable. And once you understand what that is, you'll never look at luxury watches the same way again. Welcome to Luxury Explained. Today we are uncovering the fascinating reason why Rolex watches rarely lose their value. Imagine buying two products today. The first is a brand new luxury car worth $100,000. The second is a Rolex watch worth $1,500. Fast forward 5 years, the car might have lost tens of thousands of dollars in value. But the Rolex, depending on the model, it might be worth almost exactly what you paid, or even more. That sounds impossible because we all been taught one simple rule: everything loses value. Cars, electronics, furniture, clothes, even houses can lose value during economic downturn. So why doesn't Rolex follow the same rule? The answer isn't as simple as making a good watch. In fact, many watchmakers build incredible watches. Some are even more technically advanced than Rolex, yet they don't hold their value in the same way. Which means the secret isn't just what's inside the watch, it's something else entirely. Let's be honest, if you only wanted to know the time, you could buy a watch for less than $20. It will tell the time just as accurate. So why would someone spend thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars on a Rolex? Is it because it's made of precious metals? Sometimes. Is it because of the craftsmanship? Partly. But those aren't the biggest reasons. Rolex isn't simply selling a product, it's selling trust. For more than a century, the company has built a reputation for precision, reliability, and timeless design. Many Rolex watches from decades ago are still running till today. That kind of consistency builds confidence. When people buy a Rolex, they are not just buying today's watch, they are buying over 100 years of history, and in the luxury world, history has value. Now, here's where things becomes fascinating. Imagine you own a bakery. Every morning you bake 100 loaves of bread. If nobody buys them, you make more tomorrow. Simple. Now imagine Rolex working the same way. Whenever demand increased, they simply flooded the market with more watches. At first, everyone will be happy. More people could buy one. Waiting lists will disappear. Prices will become lower. But something unexpected will happen. The watch will slowly lose the one thing that makes it special, its rarity. And that's exactly what Rolex has spent decades protecting. Not by making poor quality products, but by carefully controlling how many watches reach the market. It's a strategy that has helped keep demand incredibly strong for years. But here's the question: if Rolex can simply make more watches, why don't they? Wouldn't selling more watches mean making more money? Surprisingly, the answer reveals one of the smartest business strategies in the luxury industry. And once you understand it, you'll see why some of the world's richest brands don't always try to sell as much as they can. Imagine you walking past two stores. The first has hundreds of the same watch sitting on the shelves. You can buy one today, tomorrow, or even next month. There is no rush. Now imagine another store. Inside is a watch you have wanted for years, but the salesperson tells you, "I'm sorry, we don't have one available." In fact, you may have to wait several years before you can buy one. Suddenly, something changes. That watch hasn't become better, it has become more accurate. It hasn't gained new features, yet somehow you want it even more. This isn't an accident, it's psychology. Humans naturally place a higher value on things that are difficult to obtain. Psychologists call this the scarcity effect. When something is rare, our brains often assume it must be valuable. Luxury brands have understood this for decades, but Rolex didn't just understand it, they mastered it. Imagine saving for years to buy your dream Rolex. You finally have enough money, you walk confidently into an authorized Rolex dealer, you are ready to buy. Then the salesperson smiles politely and says, "Unfortunately, that model isn't available. You can place your name on a waiting list." A waiting list for a product you are ready to pay for? To most businesses, this sounds ridiculous. If a customer is standing there with money, why not sell them the product immediately? Because Rolex isn't trying to make every sale today. It's trying to protect its reputation for decades. Waiting lists create something incredibly powerful. They make people feel they are competing for the opportunity to own the watch. The watch transforms from being for sale into something people feel lucky to obtain. That changes how people think about its value. When someone wears a Rolex, what are they really wearing? Yes, they are wearing a watch, but they are also wearing a story of craftsmanship, a story of history, a story of success. For many owners, a Rolex represents years of hard work and achievement. It's something they celebrate after reaching an important milestone. That's one reason Rolex has become much more than a tool for telling time. It has become a symbol, and symbols often become more valuable than the object themselves. Think about a national flag. The fabric itself isn't expensive, but what it represents gives it meaning. Luxury works in a similar way. People are not only buying materials, they are buying meaning. Here's where things become more interesting. Rolex doesn't control used watch prices, collectors do. When demand for a certain Rolex model becomes higher than the number available, people begin buying and selling them privately. Sometimes the price climbs above the original retail price. Imagine buying a watch for $12,000. A few years later, collectors are willing to pay $16,000, not because Rolex increased the price, but because demand became stronger than supply. This creates a fascinating cycle. People begin seeing Rolex not only as a luxury watch, but as something that can hold its value. That benefit attracts even more buyers, and that increased demand can strengthen the market for sought-after model. But here's the biggest mystery of all. If scarcity is the secret, why don't all luxury watch companies keep their value like luxury? Many brands use expensive materials, Many produce outstanding craftsmanship, many have rich histories, yet very few achieve the same reputation for long-time value. So what makes Rolex different? The answer lies in one decision that the company has been making for generations. A decision that changed the luxury watch industry forever.